Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Definition. In this episode we're discussing one of the worst pieces of Ragebait I've ever seen. Normally I wouldn't cover this sort of thing, but it seems to be picking up a lot of traction, and honestly I'm just fed up with seeing these same sort of articles over and over. The piece comes from the Mary Sue, and throughout this video we're going to be breaking down why it's disingenuous, unfounded ragebait that has no real standing or evidence to support its wild claims. With that out of the way, I just want to give a huge thank you for clicking the video. Now let's get into the breakdown. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, the report comes from news website The Mary Sue, and it makes some pretty outlandish claims that, though they sound like they have basis in reality, are actually completely fabricated. The headline that they're going with is "Misogynists already bashing birds of prey without seeing it. Where have I seen this before?" And from there, it pretty much devolves into a tirade of hyperbolic language to enrage readers into thinking there's an agenda led by men that don't like women in films. I'll go through the report bit by bit in a moment and break down why it's BS, but to summarise it, the article states that there's a male movement on the internet that completely hate all female-led films and don't want them to exist. Now obviously, with such a huge onslaught of backlash against women, you think they would have a plethora of tweets, posts, comments, and more to choose from. Surely the supply is unlimited. Surely they would have at least one example of this to add to the Discord. One. Just one. Nope. Throughout the entire article, there is absolutely no tweets included, no posts, no one named, so yeah, it's pretty much unfounded. Unlike the author, I actually did some due diligence and I've spent an hour searching for anti-female birds of prey posts, and through all of that searching, all of that unearthing, all of that investigative reporting I think it's called, I found one in total. That is from Matthew Kaddish, who said, "You know why Birds of Prey is going to bomb just like Charlie's Angels did? They've removed any sex appeal these characters had to appeal to a female girl power audience instead of the core male comic book audience. They literally don't know who they're making this movie for." Now rightly, the guy got a lot of backlash from men, and the only reason it actually picked up any attention is because a lot of accounts quoted it and called the guy an idiot. You could scroll through the replies forever, and I'd say pretty much everyone called him dumb, stupid, and ignorant. But apparently this one tweet from one man is all men, and men hate women now because the guy said the movie would bomb. Anyway, that's the only tweet I could find of this apparent movement of misogyny that is sweeping the globe right now and killing everything that might even have a hint of pink in it. Even though there's 1,000 times more tweets from men calling the guy a moron. But anyway, ignore that. That's not going to get clicks to the article, is it? Now let's break down the article itself. Outrage has taken over the internet. Women taking a genre typically dominated by men, ruining the childhoods of those fans who love the male-dominated films. How dare we females take the throne for ourselves? I don't know why there's question marks at the end of all that. It's not really a question, but ignore that. First off, again, I haven't seen anyone saying that they've had their childhood ruined because Birds of Prey is coming out, but yeah, do go on. Now, what year am I writing this from? Is it from the 2016 Ghostbusters movie that was torn to shreds before it even came out? Or am I talking about 2017's Wonder Woman? Maybe it's 2019's Captain Marvel. Or maybe I'm looking to the future of Black Widow, or what's happening right now this second with Birds of Prey. Secondly, let's just break down this entire statement and why it's wrong. Ghostbusters was torn to shreds because it was bad. There wasn't an anti-Ghostbusters movement on the internet, and similar to this article, there wasn't actually many people slamming it. It was probably just one guy that got the blame for it all, probably that bloody Matthew Kaddish, the spokesman for all men, as we all know. You also know how we know that Ghostbusters wasn't any good, because the studio completely wiped it from the canon after one film, and are now making a sequel to the original 2 movies. So yeah, clearly it wasn't good, right? Let's end that. Secondly, the Wonder Woman comment. I don't know what alternative universe you come from in the DC multiverse, but Wonder Woman was not hated. The film did phenomenal and there was no anti-female movement in the lead up to it. Even before the film's release, people were saying the character was the best bit of Batman v Superman, so yeah, you're wrong, shut up. As for Captain Marvel, most of, if pretty much all of the backlash from that came from Brie Larson saying that she didn't want her films reviewed by white men. She said that, so yeah, naturally white men were annoyed by it, and they even claimed that the film should have just did what Wonder Woman did, which backs up the prior point in that people didn't hate Wonder Woman. Can't wait for all this backlash on Wonder Woman 1984. I can just hear Matthew Kaddish typing now, he's so angry. Anyway, apparently the author can also see into the future and knows already that Black Widow won't do well, which at least they're admitting they have no evidence for that, as it hasn't happened yet. The article goes on to say, time and time again, it's hard to even have an honest critical conversation about these female-led movies because of men and some women on the internet trashing the movie in bad faith before we even get a chance to see it. So let's take a moment, buckle in and explore why men, and again, some women on the internet continue to be the worst. So it's women as well. Maybe it's not misogyny then if it's women. No, never mind. Time and time again, we are confronted with the knowledge that in order for women to succeed in any given format, we have to fight an uphill battle to get there. Let's look at it for the sake of argument, and because it was the most recent movie to go through this, Captain Marvel. Well, not that recent, I mean it was last year. Prior to the release, it was dragged continually by men and some women who did not even see the movie yet. They just hated the idea of Marvel, which had previously been dominated by men, having their first female lead. Maybe it was because it wasn't Natasha Romanoff, which is a whole other subject, but it's probably more just the idea of a woman getting literally anything. I'm waiting for the Black Widow attacks next. It's exhausting, which is the easiest way of putting it. We live in a world where any male nerd movie that stars a woman is going to get attacked before it's even on its feet. Birds of Prey is getting it in multiple ways. Again, it's not. Even saying that the female lead lacks sex appeal, because why? The men watched the trailer and didn't like that Harley Quinn said F off to the Joker. I searched far and wide for one tweet on how people were annoyed by the F off to the Joker comment, and it may surprise you to learn that there weren't any. I'm sure the author knows this though, which is why it's not been included in the article. Also, it's funny that they mentioned Joker because in the run-up to that film, a lot of media outlets claimed that it was violent towards women and that the movie, which was about an incel male, would also trigger more violence. I've included evidence of this on screen now. However, unlike the Birds of Prey movement, it wasn't labelled as a feminist uprising or anything like that, and the aims of the reports weren't there to cause division between men and women. Sadly, as we all know though, Joker did go on to cause a lot of violence, and so far there have been a total of 0 deaths. Rest in peace all those people who died because of Joker. The article then goes on to say, when it comes down to it, I guess I want to know, when will this end? How many successful movies need to come out with women as the leads before we finally just have an acceptance of these movies? Do women need to start our own franchise and just run with it from there, in the hopes that men of the internet don't find us? Well, I think you just answered your own question there. The fact that you're saying that there are already a lot of successful movies shows that it has ended surely. Like, how many successful movies need to come out? You've just said that. When will this end? Also, it has ended because there's only one tweet on the entire internet, and I'm pretty sure if you just block that guy, it'll end for you. Yay, I saved your life. I'd like for one female-led movie to come out without having to listen to the angry men screaming about how it's bad before they've even laid eyes on it. Yeah, Wonder Woman. And yes, I know that Wonder Woman 1984 and the unnamed Captain Marvel sequel will do well because the first installments did, but that's because both Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel had to be rallied behind by women everywhere because of said backlash. I mean, did they though? Did they really? Because I'm pretty sure you don't get the box office that they did from men being rallied into the cinema by women, as if that was the case, Little Women would have done the same amount as those movies, wouldn't it? Yeah. Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel were successful because they were part of established comic book franchises that predominantly involved men and a male audience. This audience then continued to see Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel, hence their success, but yeah, there's a big anti-female movement. I would have loved to critically look at both Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel without feeling like any criticism would open the door for men on the internet to tank it and ruin whatever hopes I had for sequels. Granted, there wasn't much about either of those movies I would change, but that's not particularly the point. So what is your point? I want to have that weight lifted off me so I can go into a movie and just enjoy it without having to feel like I have to scream about it for months to counteract the jerks on the internet who hate anything that isn't filled with white men named Chris. Birds of Prey does have a white man named Chris though. So basically, how many successful female-led nerd-based movies have to happen before we can stop this frankly effing stupid trend of bashing a movie non-stop just because it isn't filled with male heroes? When will this madness end? Hopefully the day you stop making things up about this movement in your head. I feel like a lot of your problems are caused by you thinking there's some anti-female movement when there's not. There's one tweet. Matthew Kaddish, what have you done? So yeah, that's the entire article, and as we said, it's completely fabricated and unfounded. This is purely an opinion piece that is making outlandish statements, posing them as facts, and then giving absolutely no evidence beyond "I think, therefore it is." Rightly so, the article has been torn to shreds, and a couple of the more notable points I've seen are 50% of the population is female. If it's only the angry white men's fault, why are these movies flopping so hard? And this meme that kind of breaks down Elizabeth Banks' comments shows how female-led films often do well when they're well made. I'll bring this tweet up as I think it sums it up perfectly. It feels like we are being shamed into seeing a movie, and if we decide to maybe give it a miss, then we're a misogynist. It's a ridiculous statement, especially in light of the prior female-led movies that have done well. Still though, I shouldn't slam this website too hard. I mean, they are just wanting to push female films. Wait, isn't this the same website that slammed Alita Battle Angel because men liked it? Wait, they did, wait. So they want men to support these female-led films, however, when they do, it's a bad thing. Yeah, I have no idea how this website is verified on Twitter because it just seems to be full of unfounded nonsense that is made purely to drive clicks to their website when they know for a fact they're making it up. I have no founding for it, and they're just bad people. Websites like this are put in place purely to cause hate and division, and therefore they're not really aiming to have the equality utopia that they claim to want. They thrive on negativity, and personally, I'm just sick of it. When will it end? When? Well, we need to stop paying attention to these sites and their BS stories, and I'm angry at myself for even covering it.
Tried to destroy you.
Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on the report, so comment below and let me know if you agree with me or not, and if you do, then please share this video so hopefully we can start putting an end to these kinds of articles. If you enjoyed this and want to see a more fun-filled breakdown, then check out our video on what to expect from the upcoming Disney CinemaCon panel in March. We go over all of the rumours, announcements and more, so it's definitely worth checking out if you want to learn a bit more about the Marvel slate. If you want to support the channel from as little as 99 cents a month, then please click the join button below. We massively appreciate it and it goes a long way to making videos like this. You get access to content early and can suggest video topics and breakdowns, and if you want to come chat to us after the show, either follow us at DefinitionYT or click the Discord link in the description below. Every month we give away free movies to people who are subscribed to the channel, and this month you can win Dr. Sleep, and all you have to do is comment on a video and make sure you sub with notifications on. The more videos you comment on, the more you have a chance of winning. The winner is going to be chosen at random on the 15th of February, so best of luck to everyone who takes part. This is a channel for people who are super into superheroes, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. I've been Definition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.